Welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello. Right, bit of fun in the holiday season. This is the 1 guitar and 1 amp challenge.
You win.
Dan's thrown in the towel already. Let's see. I suspect not.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, Dan and Mick, you've been set the challenge of going back to basics with your guitar rig. You must choose only 1 guitar and 1 amplifier, which you must use to cover a wide enough range of tones to blag your way through an average covers gig.
Okay. Very average.
Anything that comes with the amp is permitted. For example, a foot switch.
Okay.
Might be an optional extra, but you know, if it's designed to work with the amp, it's allowed.
Okay.
And you may, of course, use 1 guitar cable.
That's very generous.
Gentlemen, simplify. Okay, this is going to be interesting. The temptation, of course, is going to be to use a versatile guitar and probably a channel switching amp. And I do have some channel switching amps that I have loved for many years. So the absolutely obvious choice would be Boogie Lone Star, which has got 2 channels and a bunch of other functions that would make it really perfect for the job. The only problem with that one is the reverb doesn't work. I've got to have reverb. I can't not have reverb. And truth be told, if it had reverb, the amp I would use is this. 2-Rock TS1, because it's got 2 channels, dirty channel and a clean channel, and it's a lovely thing. You might expect me to use my favourite amp, which is my 2-Rock Classic Reverb Signature, but it doesn't give a thick enough overdrive in a kind of rock sense without being pushed with a pedal, so I'm not going to use that. So I'm going to grab the bull by the horns and I'm going to treat this challenge in the manner to which I think it is meant. And I'm going to choose a single channel amp, the friend of many a club player down the years. It's in the dark, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb. When this thing is cranked, it sounds unbelievable. So then comes the guitar choice. Again, regular viewers are going to totally expect me to choose a Strat. I'm not going to choose a Strat because I think I want a bridge humbucker for the rock. And I just think with the Deluxe, having a humbucker guitar to really push it is going to work better. So I'm going out of the comfort zone a little bit. 3 clear choices for the humbucker guitar. 1, first and foremost, Gold Top 57 Les Paul, sounds ace. Second choice would be my 335, and I think this would be a brilliant choice. The thing that's going to stop me using the Gibsons is with the Deluxe Reverb, once it's cranked, when you turn down, going to lose so much brightness, where I would normally use a pedal for a buffer to keep it bright, right? I do have a humbucker guitar that has a waggle stick on it and a treble bleed and is a double cut, so it puts me more in familiar Stratty territory, even though it's not that at all. And that's my PRS DGT. I did actually gig this guitar in a covers band for years, and it works great because it's got the coil split, it's got the waggle bar, and it's got the treble bleed. The only problem is I played it in a recent video and it would not go in tune. So I need to do a little bit of quick setup work on it in double quick time. Right, the light's fading, and if you hear any gentle chewing in the background, it's that pedal dog, Rosie, who has a very tasty looking bone. Right, this is a guitar on my PRS. As I said, sorry, just eating a mince pie. Some setup issues, the G wouldn't stay in tune. The action's been creeping up and up and up, I think, because the truss rod needs looking at. So I'm just going to look at the truss rod underneath there. I'm going to change the strings out. I normally use Kurt Mangan Mick 10.5 to 50 set, but Paul, bless him, did give me some strings when he was here last. 11 to 49. It needs the extra tension on that top string. I would use a set of Dan's, but I don't have any to hand. Then I'm just going to check the action, and then finally I'm just going to double check the intonation, and hopefully that will be the guitar playing in tune again like it did in the past. I appreciate it's basically dark, sorry about that. one of the awesome things about the PRS tuners, these locking ones, is you just pull the string through like that, push it through, pull it through tight and tighten it down. That's it. And then you just wind it on. I'm not normally a fan of locking tuners in any shape or form, but these work. It does seem to be a day of things I don't normally like. I am just going to adjust the truss rod because there is quite a lot of relief in the neck, and I think that may sort my action issue as well. Could just be that because I haven't used the guitar for a while and it's pretty it had been sat in its case for a long time. It came out of the case into the studio, and I think maybe it's just moved a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. So I just want to tighten it a bit to lessen the relief, and God, that's moved instantly, even just with that. I'm going to stick there. Cool. So the action's better. I don't need to do the action, I just need to check the intonation. Hooray! It is best to do this in the playing position. God, I hope that's visible. Just about. So top string's fine. Fret flat forward, the fretted note is sharp. So the saddle's got to come back a bit, and there is a tiny bit of buzz actually, which is really annoying. Oh, running against the clock here. Running against the clock. I'll continue in this vein. Okay, it is dark now. Got to say, that feels a lot better.
Well, this is really tricky. Telecaster, obviously. I've never done a gig without options. So this would be, wow. Okay. Let's have a look. So, let's see. It's only a single input. That might be an option. I mean, the obvious question is, why wouldn't I use the matchless? And the matchless it sounds amazing. I just don't know how flexible it is. Okay. AC15, so it's got a sound that I love. It's got a normal volume and a top boost channel. Right, so I can get some overdrive and some reverb. Let's see. Got effects. So it does have a foot switch. I wonder what that foot switch is for. Let me do a quick Google. I'm just wondering if the foot switch is going to let me switch channels. I don't believe so. It would be really nice to have a couple of different tonal options. Let me just do a quick Google. Okay, the foot switch turns the reverb and tremolo on and off. Oh, I don't know. I think it's a really good shout for sitting in with a cover band, because I don't want to be too loud. It's a sound that I know I'm really comfortable with. It's got reverb in it. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to have to go with this. Fingers crossed. And we're back in the room. How did you go? I found this hard.
It is hard.
Really hard.
And I went with things that might or might not surprise you. Should we do the amp reveal?
Okay. Right, together?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Aha! Okay.
So kind of interesting. Neither of us have gone for channel switching amps.
No.
I'll explain why in my VT, but just to recap, there's something about the nature of this challenge which really says back to basics. So I thought I would grab it by the horns. The other two reasons are, and sorry for the repetition, I would use the Lone Star, but the reverb doesn't work.
Okay.
And I cannot have an amp without reverb.
No.
Similarly, the TS1, I would use that, but it doesn't have reverb.
Yep.
So I need an amp with reverb that will overdrive.
Yeah, okay.
You?
I need a sound that I'm very familiar with. If it's going to be one sound, I need something that I know that I can work with.
Yeah.
I've never done a gig without options.
Really?
No, I've never done a straight.
Oh wow! I
thing.
spent my first couple of years at least gigging with no pedals,
Really?
only amp. Yeah.
Okay. Well, first gig I had one of my first gigs I had a GP8.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been that from word go.
And to be fair, after that, I did a good number of years with a Mesa Mark III and no pedals.
All right.
So, but that was channel switching, and we don't have that here. So,
So I needed a tone that I'm very familiar with.
Yeah.
But I had to have reverb. But another thing is, I also wanted an amp that was pretty quiet.
Oh right, okay.
So I didn't want to go, band that of flapping around in a cover band going.
All right. And of course, we both got reverb and tremolo.
Yeah.
Which is very nice to have.
Yeah. For me, the reverb will be on all the time, and tremolo,
maybe.
Yeah.
Nice to have.
But it's there.
Guitar?
Well, no surprise. So.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So interestingly or not interestingly, for me, why I would go with red and not the 65, because I've gigged this guitar so much.
Yeah. Home from home.
I just know it back to front.
Yeah.
So this is not necessarily the best sounding telly I own, but it is the most familiar guitar. Yeah. So being a completely alien, just plugging straight in, it's like, okay, I need something to tie me back into ground bass.
Okay. I've gone for this because I actually did gig this in a cover band for a couple of years.
Right.
And
such a great guitar.
Explained in the VT. I've just had to do a bit of setup. Hope it's going to be okay. It's all explained in the VT, but humbuckers, splittable, and a treble bleed.
Okay.
Which, if I'd used the Gibsons or the Fender, the Strats, as soon as you go off from 10...
Where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there? You lose so much high end.
Yeah, right.
That I'm hoping this will retain it, but we'll find out.
Is that floating?
Yeah. They always float the PRS.
Right.
Well, I say they should float the PRS vibrato.
Okay.
Although it's only just floating because I must have gone down a string gauge or something because it's actually pulling back a bit.
Right.
But it is floating.
Okay. Age After Beauty.
Let's go. Let's plug in.
All right.
Because we've got a bit of mucking about to do, haven't we?
All right.
Maybe we could do this in stages.
Okay.
So, if we think about the challenge, I sort of take that to mean you're going to need some clean.
Okay.
A little bit of crunch and a little bit of overdrive.
Okay.
In order to cop a bunch of tones.
Great.
But we're going to have to get to the point where, short of leaning over and turning the amp up, that's all got to be available. From a standing start, as it were. Or, I think a little bit of tweakerization is okay.
Okay, all right.
So, Go on then. You get a place. I'll do amp cam.
Okay.
Get a place on the AC15 where you feel comfortable.
That's it for me.
Is it?
That's the beauty about this amp. This is so incredibly simple.
Can I just check the levels then?
You can.
Nice. Got that very typical mid thing that you like with the chime on the top.
Yeah. There's nowhere where you hear that and don't go, oh, that's a Vox.
Yeah.
It's just that's the Vox thing.
Okay.
But that bit of reverb on it, I couldn't do that without that reverb.
Yeah. It's a really nice reverb actually.
It's beautiful. I really like it.
Okay, next song is a funky James Brown thing.
That's all I've got for clean headroom. That is it.
That's the right sound. Oh, it licks nice.
Okay, cut the cake.
I just turn the reverb down ever so slightly. That's really interesting. Can you hear that on the top?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the speaker going, or if it's the bright cap. Because we're on almost 7 on the volume control. On there, with the I've got the coil split in the middle position.
Right.
And it's picking up that on the top quite nicely. I'll de-split the coils, as it were. Go back to full humbucking mode. That's much pokier than I thought it was going to be.
I'm always amazed at how good the clean sounds from that guitar are.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, that was full humbucking mode. Back into coil split mode.
do the neck. Sorry, just do the neck and chorus bit for us.
Wicked mid-range
Poke.
smack to it, hasn't it? I think you'd hear that okay.
Yeah,
That's good. That's more than I was expecting.
that's really nice.
More than I was expecting. All right, let's move on then. Mid-gainy, crunchy, rhythmy type sound.
Okay. I have to be really careful because that's it,
Yeah.
right? And if as soon as I dig in, that's the end of it.
It's gone.
It's gone. So
when we
for the
get to your solo sound in a minute, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be really tough. That's
That
everything I've
said,
got.
the nature of playing the chords like that is making the whole amp work hard. It might be that when you go to single notes, there's more of it available.
We'll see.
Can I just hear? I know this is something that Dan never really does. Can you give me some more of that bridge pickup love, but just roll the tone back a tiny bit, like to about 7. And then the tone just to the point it goes off. Just.
Just so I was not killing everyone in the front row.
Yeah, I've always found with the telly that it especially with Voxy type overdrive, that puts it a step towards humbucker territory.
Yeah, they're having the tone
By
right
doing
through it.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I think I'm going to struggle with this because the deluxe reverb is hella loud. So getting enough from the guitar to push it into a mid-gain overdrive, I think, is going to be probably too loud for the singer.
Okay.
Is the way this is going to go.
I'm just going to play this.
So I'll start with the volume on 3 and I'll work up.
Sounds pretty great to me.
Sounds great. The problem I've got there is the same problem you've got. In order to get that crunch out of the amp, it's got to be that loud.
Yeah.
So going up and down from there and getting more volume for when we
It's hard.
come to play the solo.
It's really hard.
So the temptation is, it's currently on 7. Dare we go higher so that it overdrives more earlier? Or is that just going to be louder? So I'll do it. I'll go just below 7 and we'll go just over 8.
All right.
This is quite a crank. So we're now between 8 and 9, all right?
Okay. Pretty good.
It's a lovely sound.
It's
I think
amazing.
it's giving in a bit more.
It is. It is. And I think that will become more evident when you get to the turned all the way up sound.
Yeah. Come on then. Give us your solo sound. It's a fantastic sound.
Not loud enough.
Yeah, you're going to have to rely on if there's a PA.
It's a great sound. I think flapping around in the back of a covers band, I think that'll do.
Yeah, well, the thing is, because of the clarity of it,
Yeah,
and the
it
high
does
end,
poke.
it's really audible. It's the frequencies that you need to be heard. But I think you would need a bit of getting out from behind a whacker,
Yeah,
cymbals especially.
absolutely. I mean, there's no way. I do love that sound, but there's no way that will work in a band. Certainly not in the bands that I work with.
Wouldn't work. Yeah, I mean, it would be inaudible in the TPS band. Wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
But it's a lovely sound.
It's a great sound.
It's a really lovely sound.
With that, I am relying on the sound guy.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about that sound, because I'm so familiar to that EL84, the Voxy thing, and it's all, even with that much gain, it's all dependent on how you dig in. So it's a dynamic thing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not getting any louder.
Yeah.
It's breaking up the more I dig in. So there's a certain way that Voxes do that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
So that's a sound that I'm very comfortable with.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a wonderful sound. I think it's going to record well too.
Okay. Great. All right.
Okay, so same then. But since we showed you the controls, by the way, the amps haven't changed. Other than I did turn the deluxe reverb up to just over 8 on the volume knob. But
Awesome.
so yeah. All right. So here I am then, playing me rhythm. you got your earplugs? Stick your earplugs in, mate. That is
put this ear in.
that particular mid frequency is right in the ear hole.
Far out.
Audible. I just want to check that I'm not overriding the desk here.
Just that one.
Ready?
Hang on. Hang on. If I'm walking outside a pub and I hear that, I'm going inside and I'm getting a drink and I'm there. I'm there for as long as that sound is happening. That is awesome.
That is a lovely, lovely, lovely guitar sound.
And it's loud.
Yeah, it is loud. It's loud enough.
It's loud enough for a band, right? That will work in a band.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. Because of the frequency makeup of it.
Exactly. Because
I do
it's so
think I'm
it's so
slamming the
bang
desk
in the
actually,
ear
but-
hole.
Yeah,
It's like that and a bit of spread in the PA.
Yeah.
That is glorious.
That's nice. I'm really pleased that this has done what I expected it to
Yeah,
do.
no,
With the
it really has.
It stays brightish when you turn down the volume.
Yeah.
Now my normal guitar Strat just wouldn't. It would be tough because
Sure.
it would go too dark when you turned it down.
Yeah. And it's not going to drive the amp the way that
No.
it'll sound great, but that drives the amp in that really special place.
Yeah, this is
magic.
thick. Yeah, fair play to the old DGT. I didn't play this guitar for ages, and I'm remembering why it worked in that world.
No, it's beautiful. What? Oh heavens! What would that be, Sir Michael?
It's
I've
an
found a
airplane
shower. It
made
is an
out of
airplane.
paper.
First of all, let me just comment. It's a beautifully made aeroplane.
This just in. Newsflash, having successfully completed the challenge thus far, you now have 5 minutes in which you can make any 2 changes.
Okay.
You can change any aspect of your rig so far. For example, you can change guitar and amp. That would be 2 changes.
Okay.
Changing the guitar would be 1 change. Or you can add up to 2 other devices or any combination thereof. So you can change the guitar, 1 device, change the amp, 1 device, change guitar and amp. 2 changes. The goal is to plug any gaps you might have encountered thus far to further widen your tonal palette. Go.
Okay. Go. Far out.
Should we do a finger click?
Yep.
Go.
Back in the room.
Enough background noise, mate.
The noise floor is lifted up a little bit, Michael.
Okay, so what are your 2 changes?
I've added the matchless DC30 instead of the AC15, and I had to throw a tape delay in because if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out in style.
It sounds like it's pretty cranked.
It's loud because I was too quiet.
Yeah. Okay. I have kept exactly the same rig. I've added 2 things. I've added a 2-Rock TS1 and a Free the Tone digital delay pedal,
Right.
which is in the loop of the 2-Rock only, so it's wet dry. I might have cheated because I've had to employ a splitter
That's all right.
to split the signal into
Yeah.
the 2 amps. But it's still guitar into amps. There's no overdrive pedals.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, same here.
Come on then.
All right, so
Give me a clean tone.
now add a little bit of reverb, but the reverb's noisy. reverbs go. I don't understand why. I'm already really distorted.
James Brown. Well, keep rolling it back then until it cleans up.
That's just on.
Middle pickup, middle setting.
So it wouldn't normally be that
Why is it
distorted.
so noisy?
Because I've got it cranked. Because this. I'm going straight into the front of a, like that thing cranked, like really dirty. So it's always going to be a mess, but it's just beautiful.
So you've got your volume.
I've got my
'Cause
volume.
you were missing your volume.
Yeah.
You are yelling. Do you know that?
Yeah, because that's really loud. Now, I think the volume thing's really important because the way the guitar interacts with volume is very different.
Are you going to play anymore?
You can do.
Maybe in a minute.
Maybe in a minute, but that's... That gives me everything I need. It's a glorious thing, but my problem with playing like this is that's all I've got. The matchless setup cranked like that, it's just, I'm into the EF86 channel. It's flat out. There's no more dynamics. That's it.
Yeah.
But I just want it to be loud, just for a minute.
All right.
Show me your winning tone.
Okay. I've added a second amp because Dan and I love to use two amps. We did this in a video just recently, but it's what I would go out and play with as well. I've turned the deluxe reverb down from 8 to 5.5.
Right.
So I've turned it down to get more headroom.
Okay.
And I'm going to get my solo boost from the 2-Rock.
Okay.
So both amps are going to be running all the time. I'm not sure where we're going to be with volume, probably quite loud. And in the loop of the 2-Rock is the delay. Okay.
It's glorious. Just for 1 second, I just want to see what the clean tone, if we're going to turn the gain down and not be an idiot and add some delay and reverb, I just want to see what sort of clean tone with headroom I can get out of this thing.
Okay.
All right, so give me 2 seconds.
I think you're a Hudson broadcast away from glory there.
Exactly, because so that set up like that, where it's got plenty of headroom and clean, it's beautiful. But I don't have the range of gain. If I add any more gain, it just goes to mush.
Yeah.
But if I boost into it, it's beautiful. But I just wanted to.
Yeah. I much preferred it like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to hear it gained out with some. Because I can't boost into it for overdrive.
Yeah.
So that's loud.
Yeah.
Right? But it's still dynamic and lovely, and it still has that chewiness and that edge of breakup when you dig in. But I can't get the level of gain that you get, and that amazing range of gain through your volume control is extraordinary.
Yeah, largely thanks to the treble bleed in this guitar. Not normally a fan of them. And, you know, the fact that the 2-Rock is 2 channels, so you can switch in those extra options there, the FET booster, the lead mode, which brings loads more overdrive, and the bypass, which drops the tone stack out. So you've got a whole bunch of shaping possibilities in there.
The other thing that's really interesting, so I've heard the going through the foot switch options in the CRS. But that is very different. And it's incredible.
It's killer, isn't it?
It is absolutely killer, but I also loved hearing the deluxe just on next to it. I mean, there's nothing missing there.
So I think what Dan is one overdrive pedal away from glory.
Yeah.
Just to get the extra sustain and the higher gain.
But I have to give this to you. You absolutely nailed that.
I think I'm an underdrive away from glory.
Okay. That's very
because my quieter rock rhythm sound is not there now.
Right.
I don't think, because it would be too loud and too gainy. So.
Oh man, that was so much fun. I've learnt a lot doing this.
One of the reasons I came up with this idea was because on the experience days, on the TPS experience days, we get the deluxe reverb out and we crank it.
Yeah.
And to a person in the room, everyone's like, oh God.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it sounded like that.
Because everyone sees that and thinks, oh, that's a lovely, clean thing.
Well, they turn it up to 3 and go, oh my God, I need to clip that bright cap out.
Right.
But on 7 or 8, it's just a thing of pure glory.
It's incredible.
But in the Bonamassa style, adding something very mid-focused and horrifically expensive. Doesn't have to be, actually. Could be Hot Rod Deluxe. Could be a Pro Junior. Something to just shape the rest of that mid-range and poke out. I think so with the Deluxe Reverb and the addition of, say, a Hot Rod Deluxe or a Pro Junior, or maybe even a Blues Deluxe, but that might not be quite loud enough, not quite headroomy enough. You're into really seriously world-class tones there.
Man.
For
unbelievable.
For not world-class money.
Yeah. No, it's
I mean,
really
the 2 Rock
beautiful.
is ridiculous. I get that, but I flipping love it.
It's
just it's a magic thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well done. We need to get something with the scores on the doors. Because I think you're one ahead now in challenges.
Okay.
So we need to get, anyway. Well, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. I found that fascinating and my head is now spinning with ideas. Again, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Just come on,
hit the button.
Massive thank you to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed some merchandise, some hats and t-shirts and strings and all the various...
Thank you kindly.
Indeed. Massive thank you to our preferred retailers in the UK and Europe is...
Anderson's Music of Guildford in Surrey.
And our mates in Australia.
Pedal Empire of Brisbane, Queensland.
And to our friends in America.
Would go to thatpedalshop.com, thatpedalshop.com, and we'll also mention Patreon, patreon.com/thatpedalshow.
Fabulous. Please join us on Monday for viewers' comments and questions, because I would love to hear what you think about this.
Yeah.
And about your experiences with trying to do gigs just plugged into the app.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Cool. And before we turn the cameras off, we'll say goodbye, but before we turn the cameras off, I want Dan to play into this rig, so there'll be an Easter egg at the end, just in case you missed it.
Okay. All right. Cheers, guys. Have a great day.